Welcome to After Sunrise. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Kevin Schrett. We have Katie McDarris and James Miller. We're talking about the Bakersfield Marathon, as you can see behind us here. It is a big weekend in Bakersfield and Kern County. Thanks for sticking around and joining us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
We have a lot to talk about because I think there's so many people that maybe I'm not a runner, so I have a lot of questions this morning as we continue on. Maybe some interest in how you become a runner. How, is it a slow, well, I'm not saying running marathons, but I was really, to be honest with you, I was really touched by your story, James, and how cancer kind of changed your life and made you want to become a runner, and you've continued on. I asked you earlier, did you run before that? Were you a big runner in your younger days, a teenager, stuff? And you said absolutely not.
Yeah, no.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I'm not making a judgment call here. I'm just saying it's kind of wild.
But it was inspiring to me because people weren't watching our show this morning. Talk a little bit about how you started that running journey.
Well, I should go back. When I had cancer, it was difficult to get to the mailbox. By the time I got to the mailbox, I'd have to rest standing there before I could get back to the house. So I made a deal with God. If I could get my health back, I'd run. And so in my mental state at that time, I decided I was going to run the Rock to Pier half marathon. And then intelligence somewhere came back into light and said, you should try a 5K before you sail off to do that.
So I've done some reading, for people, let's say like me, I've never run a day in my life, kind of like you were at the beginning. Did you just start running or did you start walking and then slowly increase?
No, it was a big deal for me to make it around the block. And so I walked around the block, and then I made it 2 blocks, and then I made a mile, and then I made 3 miles, and then I was out there for an hour. And so it was probably over a 3-month stretch, and then I started to run. And then I just entered a 5K. Didn't tell anybody. And entered a 5K, and sadly, I don't know sadly, but it turns out a coworker of my wife was there. And so she told my wife I had just finished second place in a 5K.
Oh.
And so my wife thought I was at the grocery store.
Oh, what?
Yeah, she ratted me out.
What? Sweet. You told her you're going to the grocery store and you went and ran away?
Yeah. That was a long grocery outing there, James.
I had no idea. I'd never actually run 3 miles. I just thought, well, enter this thing and see what happens.
See if I make it.
So I have to ask.
That is amazing.
You ran, you never came home with groceries or you went and grocery shopping
No, I didn't come home with groceries.
She was probably real suspicious.
Well, my phone went off and said, hey, the coworker sent off a picture of me.
Well, I think it was probably a good thing the coworker kind of ratted you out because your wife would have been like, you were gone this long and no groceries, where were you?
Ate them all. Ate them all in the car.
And then it just progressed from there?
Yes. So then I thought I was hooked. I thought, man, I'm there. I finished second place. I'm fast. And then the next race, there was a gentleman, Craig Wyman. I did not know who he was, but he looked like my age, so I was going to shadow him, and they said go, and the guy was gone. I was started up front, and I finished 212th, so I had 211 people pass me on that run. I was so dejected. Apparently I'm not that fast. And then, but then I was hooked, and it was such a fun event, and then I've been running ever since.
It's funny because I agree. I did my very first half marathon in 2018 in Bakersfield, and it is so fun. But I think people who are not runners hear that, and I am not a runner. I don't think I am. I don't think of myself that way. I never was a runner. I was not an athlete. But when you tell them it's so much fun, I think it sounds crazy to their ears, but it really is so much fun on race day.
It is. I think the problem is all through life when we get punished, whether you're a baseball player, go run a lap. So we've always looked at running as a punishment,
right?
And then you go to run as fun, and it's just the crowd is amazing, and the people cheering on the sidelines is amazing. It's all motivation.
Well, and I thought what was inspiring is you said you couldn't even go to the mailbox when you were fighting cancer. And I think about Maddie laughs at me because I can't run from here to the bathroom down the hall without being winded, and I'm a healthy guy, So when I heard James's story, I was like, man, maybe I need to dust. And I have a perfectly good treadmill in my bedroom that I could fire up and slowly just start the walking process. And, so if this happens, James, you're my inspiration
Well,
to getting off
I've been
my...
known as the instigator.
You're-
And so
yeah.
I will tell you this, nothing's fun till after mile 4.
Gotcha,
So that's
okay.
my magic point. If I can just make it to mile 4, then I'm happy. It's a struggle.
And I have to get in my head because I'm one of those people on things like that, I start and don't stick with it. So I have to, stick with it.
I'm with you, Kevin. I had to try to run. I was training for a marathon this year. I can't run this weekend. I'm on the board. I'm here
Right,
all
you're a little
weekend
busy.
prepping, right? So me training for my first marathon this past year, it's an 18-week training program. I have never consistently done anything for 18 weeks, ever. And it was miserable. By about week 12, I was like, oh, I still have more to go. So I'm with you.
Maybe it's because we're from the same hometown. This real quick, this is really cool. She came in a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about the marathon. I said, oh, where are you from? She says, oh, the Pacific Northwest. And I'm like, okay, that's vague. Like, where are you from? She goes, this small town called Longview, Kelso. And I said, that's where I was born. She goes, really? I graduated from Kelso High School. I graduated from Mark Morris High School in Longview. And so now we've got this bond. We're from
cool.
the same hometown.
Well, then you better sign up and
Small
run.
Right.
hometown.
You better support her Bakersfield Marathon.
I know, right?
She's expecting to see you out there.
Oh, wow, that would be a big thing.
But there's a lot of different races. It's not
Right.
just the marathon or the half marathon. There's the 6K and there's the 10K. And then for kiddos, there's the 1K or
The diaper dash.
Diaper dash on Saturday.
I did tease
You're
the
not
other day.
entering
I was
that.
ready for the diaper dash.
We're not entering you in that. But I mean, I truly feel like you can't say you're not a runner. Like I was not a runner, am not a runner, and I run. Like it's just. I don't know. It's not even. It's a mindset. I guess it's not a physical capability.
I
thing.
need to change my mindset.
Yeah.
And I can't.
And talking about the consistency, I've heard it like you make appointments and you set times and dates with other people, right? Like, and you hold to it because you've promised someone else, like, I will be there at that meeting, right? Yeah. Do the same with yourself. Like, I like to set it out at the beginning of the week. When am I going to hit my runs? How long are they going to be? And I put them in my calendar. I put them on a time. I block out the amount of time I know I'm going to need. And it's my commitment to myself. And it's not that long.
Right.
I mean, it's really not. I mean, to run, 30 minutes and you're doing several miles.
It's crazy how we prioritize things. If my boss says I'm meeting with you at 10 a.m., you better be in your boss's office, right? So maybe go to that mentality. Your training is your boss.
Don't cancel on yourself.
Don't cancel on yourself.
100%.
You wouldn't cancel on your boss, right?
And I mean, it's 30 minutes. Can you waste
Right.
30 minutes in a day? Can you then run that 30 minutes instead?
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
I
Yeah,
agree.
definitely.
Mindset.
It really is mindset.
Go ahead.
Oh, go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, what's the most exciting thing for you in terms of planning a marathon?
Honestly, it's seeing how it all comes together. So it takes the entire board of about 10 people all year long for planning. The city is super involved and there are multiple meetings with them. We have all of our sponsors that we communicate with all year round. They help push out the word. They help get their employees involved for running and volunteering. And then when race weekend happens, I can sit back and look at all of these people and see how many it's taking to actually put this on. And it's just really cool to see the volunteerism that comes out in this community for this weekend. We have hundreds of volunteers out there starting today all the way through the weekend. So for me, it's just kind of seeing that start line on Sunday morning and seeing the excitement from everybody that's out there. I really like watching the finish line because there are people that get very emotional. I was also one of those people when I have crossed the half marathon line or, a couple months ago, my very first marathon, I was emotional. Things just come over you. And to hear stories like James and other runners, that to me is like why I do this. And that is why it's just such a special event.
It really is special.
And not knowing much about marathons, where does the Bakersfield Marathon rank in terms of marathons? I know we've only been doing it for how many years?
This is the eighth year. This is the 8th year. Honestly, I'm not sure. That's a really great question.
Didn't mean to throw a curveball at
And
you.
I don't know what ranking means, though.
Like in terms of maybe turnout? That's what I'm saying. You know,
Yeah,
where
we're
okay.
probably still on the smaller side, but we
Okay.
are growing.
Yeah.
So this is our largest year yet. We are basically doubling participation from last year to this
No
year.
way.
Okay.
Yes.
That's huge.
That's wild.
It's huge. And then for marathoners, we've also increased that number. So of the 4,500 people that are going to come out and participate, we only have about 400 in the marathon, which actually is really nice because when you go to large races, you have tens of thousands of people. So for us, it's actually kind of cool because you can go out on this course and you can run a PR because you're not weaving in and out of 10,000 people to do it. So
You're at your own pace.
you can almost run your own pace for pretty much the whole event, and that's for definitely the full and even the half marathon. So if you're a half marathon runner and you want to be able to try to hit a PR, come out to this race because right now it is nice and small and it's good to run. The course is nice. So yeah.
I'm excited about the course.
And how many people? And this is a question you might not even be able to answer, but how many people like qualify for the Boston with this? Like, what is a requirement? Is there a requirement?
It's wild.
There
Oh, is
are
it?
requirements.
I was about to ask James. James, are you going to
it-
qualify one day?
I don't. It's not on my radar.
Okay.
It's tough.
So
I
Boston,
don't have
tough.
a clue.
yeah. So Boston has time qualifications, and they also have it within age ranges. So first you find your age range, then you find your time qualification, and then even after that, you have to submit your time qualification. And I believe after that, it's like a lottery, or
Oh.
it's
yeah, because so many people.
if your time, or if so many people have that time too, then it just fills up and
Right.
you can't do it. Now, we do have some people in Bakersfield I know that have qualified for Boston, so they might be some guests to have in the next couple weeks because Boston is the Monday after Easter.
Oh,
So-
wow, it's really soon.
Yeah.
And when we're talking about how fast, Kevin, I want to say I looked up like the youngest male category probably, and I think it was 225 for a full marathon.
I'm 67. I have to maintain an 8-minute mile, all 26 miles to qualify.
and that's
So
his age range.
That's
Yeah.
my age.
It's
range.
more like 5:30.
That wouldn't
a
surprise me.
5:30 minute mile for a whole 26 miles.
Yes.
Wow.
Is for like the young,
Yeah.
the
Yeah, there are-
young male age
That's
range.
intense.
Yeah.
5 minutes, 30 seconds a mile.
No, walk
I
in
could
there.
not run one. I could run half a mile that fast in my life.
I don't think I've ran that ever, even when I
Ever.
was in the best shape at like
No.
13.
Wow.
Like-
Forget it.
So it's a whole nother level.
It is a whole
It's
other
a whole
level.
nother level. But there are people that qualify, and there are a lot of people that come out and travel to our race in order to qualify.
But you said we have some Bakersfield people.
We do have some Bakersfield people that have qualified for Boston. So
Okay.
yeah.
That is.
We'll have to talk more with Katie
We had
about
an
that.
employee here who qualified years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Claudia.
Oh, yeah, Claudia.
Yeah.
She was a big time runner.
So anyway, it's very hard to do, but there are a lot of runners, elite runners in Bakersfield and Kern County. But I love what you said, James, earlier about the running community in Bakersfield, about just how the fastest runner always has time to talk to the slowest runner out there.
Correct.
Thank
Yes.
goodness, because I'd be that slowest runner.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice when they fly right by you and say, "Hey, nice run! You're really killing it." So
Aw.
they're really
Jeez.
they're really supportive.
You know what? I love that. That's so cool. And the community, like you said, there are so many different running groups. Like if you want that support or to keep you honest, right? Someone to be like, hey, you were supposed to be out here at this run. What the heck? Where are you? There are running groups you can run with, or you can run, like you said, by yourself and just kind of slowly begin and build up. James is building up to a big goal.
Talk about that. What's next?
100-miler in May.
100 miles.
And he expects it to take him about how long? Well, you're hoping, your goal.
Goal's 28 hours.
28 hours.
Do you
That is
sleep during that?
incredible.
Yeah, how does that
I could. I don't know. I think
called
that's the
sleepwalking
fun of
or
the
running.
100-miler is you're going to adjust as you
Right.
go. So my goal is to hit the 60-mile mark, and at that point I'll probably stop and change shoes,
Yeah.
socks, fuel up, maybe take a 30-minute nap. Now that's the plan. And you know how plans go. They go right out the window the first
I
5
heard earlier
miles.
say you're the master planner.
Yeah. But that's the goal at this point.
And where's
then
that at?
It's over in Los Aviles, by Santa Barbara on a private ranch. So it's
beautiful.
Born to Run.
Beautiful.
Is the name of the run.
Wow. And so, how do you train for something like that?
I'll let you know when it's over because I'm not sure I'm doing it right. But I went out last weekend about 5 o'clock in the morning, I run in the dark. So because I'm going to run in the dark. So
Oh, so that's smart to get used to the conditions.
Is that a trail run?
It was a trail run.
Okay.
So I think the main thing is time on your feet. So you need to be able to do 4 to 6 hours on your feet at one stretch.
Yeah.
Not necessarily go out and blaze the trail. You just need to maintain momentum and speed.
Yeah.
And
That's
you might
incredible.
power walking uphill and run a downhill and
Right.
jog on the flat.
Yeah.
But you're just going to adjust the whole way.
What did when you told your wife you were going to do this 100-miler? What was your reaction?
She said, go buy another life policy.
That's a good one. There's humor in this household, I can tell.
And I love earlier we said, you really weren't a runner beforehand? And what did you say the only reason you'd run beforehand was?
It was a dollar bill flew out of my hand. I had to chase him down.
And I heard him say that. I was in the weather center. I said, wait, that's me. More inspiration. That's me.
Is this how we have to get runners out there? Is have our pace
Yeah.
car just have like
Dollar bill.
money
They were
trailing?
hooked for life.
Be like,
Oh,
come to the Bakersfield Marathon, chase after the money car.
There you go.
It was really bad as I run and I find these little toy animals on the run, and so I came home with a tiger the other day. My wife said, "What's that?" I have this whole collection of little toys I found
so
on a run.
cute.
So see, there's I'm always looking for a run. I was
toys.
running with
That's
some runners the
adorable.
other day, and I stopped, went back. What are you doing? There's a tiger on the trail.
Tiger on this trail.
So I grabbed the tiger and came in with the tiger in my pocket.
That gets him to the end point. He's looking
love
for all
that.
those toys along the trail.
It's so fun.
Yeah, I have a duck and a fish and a cow.
Oh my
And
God.
All these-
I got a Tin Man.
That's wild.
A ninja. I found all these little toys on the run. And
All these
they make
kids
it
out
back to
there,
my
I
house.
guess, that's too funny. Dropping these little things for you to find.
Yeah.
That's really fun.
So if people are coming out for the marathon this weekend, what is the most important thing? Maybe if they're not running, they want to come support. What's the most important thing they need to know?
Look at the maps. So the maps are going to tell you where the road closures are. It's also going to tell you where the route goes. So if you are wanting to find your friends or family, maybe even at one spot where you might see them 2 times, you
okay.
can even look at the maps that way. So there are turnaround points. This is a turnaround point for the marathon, I believe is what we're
the
looking
zone
at.
1.
Yep. And so look at the maps so that you know where it is that you want to see your runner, how to get there. Again, it's the same exact course we have had for the last 3 years. So nothing has changed about it.
And zone 2 here, these are streets that are closed from 4 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Right. Yes.
So you can see the laundry list, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 30th. You got A Street, C Street, California Avenue, Chester Avenue, Cypress, Chester Lane, Dracaena, Elm, F Street, H Street, Oak, and the list goes on. You see them on your screen. Very
That's
important.
because that is the marathon route. So that one takes the longest for people to go through, and we can't open it till the last runner goes through.
And then this is zone 3, where they'll be closed from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Yes,
it's
so
like the
this
northeast
is more
part.
in the northeast up towards Panorama and Bakersfield College. This is because all of our races will start that direction.
Okay.
So we're actually able to open that course up earlier because we do a rolling open, which means when the last runner goes through, we're able to start to open those streets so that we can get the city back to functioning.
Okay.
Perfect.
And
And
then-
I know Shirley had to send an email out at Northwest Baseball Salmon Ballpark
Yes.
For that Sunday. Okay, zone 4, streets closed here from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Yes, and so this is because the marathon goes pretty far out. And so once the marathoners, they start at 7 a.m. By 2 hours in, they should definitely be at mile 5.
Yeah, hopefully. And then, by the way, so things will be opening kind of staggered as well.
Yes.
A cool thing you can do is even if you're going somewhere you go every Sunday, you can use one of the apps on your phone, like a Waze or Apple Maps, and it should route you around these road closures.
Yes, we have put that into, I don't know which program it goes into. That is not my forte, but somebody else does that.
Out into the universe.
I know. Thank goodness for our board members and our city officials to help us
Right.
with these road closures. So, we put all of these in there, and it is supposed to route you around it. But again, if you come up to a roadblock and there's not a volunteer or police officer there, please do not go through it. Make sure you can get out safely and try another route. Definitely the downtown area, which is the Westchester area and even the Oleander area, that is closed the longest. So be prepared if you are in those areas, if you live in those areas, or if you're going to go out and cheer people on. Now, downtown area is great because you will see half marathon, full marathon, and you may even see them a couple of times the way the route works. So if you have loved ones that are running those distances, there's really great spots along the course down there.
One of my biggest fears, because I've only done one half marathon before, is that I'm going to get lost on the route and not know where to go. And
that would be my
is that easy to follow?
It should be easy to follow. We have signs everywhere. Also, everything is color coordinated, so make sure you know the color of your race. So the full marathon is one color, the half, the 10K, and the 6K. So follow the signs and also follow the color of your race.
What's
your
the color of my
bib,
race?
I don't even remember what you're asking me. I think it's blue. I think it's blue for the half.
That's the full marathon.
I think it's blue for the half. But your bib even is color coded.
Oh, good.
So whatever
it'll
color
match.
is on your bib is the color of the arrows and the signs, and they're all
So you
around
can't
the
take the
course.
wrong turn because watch for your blue arrow.
I just gotta look down and then find the arrow.
Right.
And if I forget, just look down again. Okay, got it.
So
I like that. That's
it's
great.
pretty
That's a
well
great tip.
marked.
It is really well marked. Now, we have had a few people that are like, oh, I missed a turn on the 6K and I ended up running further. Okay, really sorry. So be aware.
Probably not our fault.
Be aware of your race course. So if you're a runner, you can still go look on those maps and you will know exactly turn by turn where you are going.
I haven't done that.
You can zoom in on it.
I guess I should.
Yeah, you should. Unless you would like to run the full.
I really would not, actually.
Okay,
I prefer to not.
The half, if you keep running past Beach Park, you've gone too far. Okay.
Oh,
There
okay,
you
good
go.
to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. If you just keep going west on the bike path, don't do it.
Okay, deal.
Turn around. Or you're going to be like, wow, this is a really long
It's the
half.
longest half marathon I've
Is it
ever
in my
run in my
head
life.
or what? I'm getting delusional.
Well, so we just had up on our screen there Race Joy, which is an app that you can download if you have a friend or family member running, and you can track them on the route. Is this like GPS in their bib or something? How does this work?
Basically, most races will have it. So we use Race Joy, and there is chip timers throughout the course.
Okay.
So it's a different spaces on the course, and the second that someone goes through those, then you can get an exact time of where they're
So
at.
cool.
But there is the GPS tracking through RaceJoy. Yes, you can send a cheer, which means you can cheer your runner on. So if they run with a phone, there are people that will run with their phones, and if they have their notifications on, it'll alert them that someone was cheering them on.
That's so cute.
I run with my phone, but I put my earbuds in, listen to music, and drown out the
Zone.
whole world.
100%.
So I turn off all of my notifications. So I
want
would
anything
That is
interrupting
not
it.
good for me. But there are a lot of people that do have their phones and have
Right.
that on.
So the bibs actually have a tracking device on them?
Yeah, it's like a little tiny
Magnetic strip.
Yeah, like
Oh.
and it's just on the back side, so you don't even see it.
Yeah, you don't even see it.
And that's how they get your time.
To get
You know,
your
because
time.
you
I
don't
always wondered how
necessarily
you got
all
the
cross
time.
at the same time when
Correct.
you start, right?
Correct. You don't. And so it is a chip time. So it's not that the race starts at 7:02 for the marathon. If you don't cross that start line for 4 more minutes, your particular race starts when you start,
okay.
when you cross
I like that.
start line.
And because I was wondering, like, how do you know when the last runner has crossed a certain area? I'm like, out of all those
To open
open
that.
it, so
Well,
Yeah.
we actually have pace cars in the back as well. So
Okay.
they are following the very last
Last
runner,
runner,
and
okay.
they don't pass that last runner. This is another way that we keep our runners safe and make sure that everyone is off of the course before we
I'm
open
just
it.
blown away how organized you guys are and how oiled this machine is.
I know, and it's only been 8
impressive.
years. I mean, that really
It's
is impressive.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a lot of effort. Again, the city has been great in helping us coordinate all of this, and all of the volunteers that are on the board that are doing this, honestly, out of the kindness of their heart. So the hundreds of hours that are going into this planning, it really is to make sure that it's enjoyable for our runners, it's enjoyable for the city, as well as a showcase for the city, and that we just keep everybody safe. So we have those pace cars for the reason to make sure that everybody is on track. We don't leave anybody behind. We know where everybody's at.
And James, I have to ask, I thought about this earlier. Is this going to be a family run event eventually? You're going to get your wife in on the course with you?
She is a runner. And so she does not do the long distance, but she'll do the 5K or 10K.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
I
really
love
great.
that.
Yeah.
This is the first time my husband ever agreed to run with me. He's doing the half, and he had told me previously, every time I tried to get him to run, because I did the first half marathon in 2018. That's the first time I ever ran, like, more than a mile probably at a time. But ever since then, he's told me, no, I ran enough in baseball as punishment. Like you said, James, I'm never running again. He told me that over and over again for years. I'm never running again. And this year, he's 44. It was right before he turned 44. We were talking about how KGT was sponsoring this year. And like, I'm super excited. Like, we're going to make it a whole station-wide thing. I'm running. I didn't even ask him at that point because he told me for years, I'm not running. I don't run. And he was like, well, I'm going to sign up and do it with you. I was like, who are you? But anyway, so he's running a half marathon and he smokes me on time.
Of course.
And it is so annoying. It is so annoying after running. And then he just was like, okay, sure, I'll do it. And he's
One day,
running a
James' wife would say,
7:47.
I'm going out to get groceries, and then he's going to find out he did a half marathon.
Yeah. So anyway, you can not be a runner. You can be whatever age. You can be fighting cancer. And you can start this new journey, and it's don't discount yourself for any reason.
No,
Not at all. And we have races for everybody for this reason too. Like, we want it to be community wide. So when we have that 6K, doesn't mean you have to be a runner. This could be your first 6K you've ever walked, and you can walk the whole thing. You can walk the 10K. So you do not have to feel like, oh, I'm not a runner, I'm not going to go do the Bakersfield Marathon. You can get up and start walking. You can start walking around your block. You can start walking around your neighborhood. You can start small. It's really just about moving your body and setting a goal for yourself. The thing I love about running is it's very personal. There are very personal reasons why people run. They run because they're trying to get their health back, or they run because they have a goal as a mom postpartum. Like, that's how I started running as an adult. I was like, hey, I just had a kid. I would like to go start getting back to my athletic self again.
It's also you time.
I was going to say, it is also, I get out of the house for 2 hours to go run, right? To go train. But in all honesty, it's a family event too. My daughter will hop on her bike while my husband and I go on training runs, and she's ridden as far as, I think, 20 miles with us.
That's
before.
amazing.
So it's great when you can start including your family, your kids, your spouses. It encourages people that you don't even know that you've encouraged.
100%.
And that's the joy of running, And then it's personal. So you have personal times. You're not always trying to get first place.
No.
You're trying to finish sometimes, you know? Finishing is a huge accomplishment. It doesn't matter if you did the 6K in 15 minutes or you did it in an hour and 15 minutes. You finished, and that's great.
That is incredible. Being able to hit that goal for yourself, it's that dopamine hit. It really is good for your mental health as well. This is not just physical health we're talking about. It's definitely a mental game a lot.
It's all mental, especially at those longer distances. I mean, James is going to see that when he goes and does his 100-miler.
You're coming home in a straitjacket. I think one of the runs, I thought it was going to be my first DNF. I was so dejected. Coming around
finish.
Right. And I come around mile 4, and there's a sight impaired runner there, and she's totally blind, has a guide run, and so I actually chatted with her for about 20 seconds because she had to listen to her guide.
Yeah.
So, I didn't want to bother. Anyway, look, she can finish this half marathon and not see. I got to quit whining, and these legs are just going to be hurting.
Yep.
But I'm going to finish this thing. So you can walk. If you can, sight impaired runner. We have another runner, Jim Sproul, in town. He's a doctor. He lost a leg to cancer. He's running this thing this weekend.
That's
so
amazing.
There's so many wonderful stories from running, and it does not matter whether you're walking that distance or running. In the end, you finished it.
Absolutely. All right, we are so excited this weekend. Again, if you aren't coming out to the race, you can watch on KGET live here on Channel 17, live on Channel 17, 7 to 8, here on our website, kget.com, 8 until about noon. And then go online and check out all the information. Look at the maps, like Katie said. Make sure you are aware of the road closures and just show the runners and the walkers your support this weekend.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great time.
It sounds like a great time, very inspiring. So
Yeah.
glad you joined us.
We'll
Nancy.
see you in the 6K.
We'll see. We'll see.
We will get Kevin next year.
I got to walk on my treadmill first.
We will get Kevin
Do
next
it.
year.
All right.
Thank you so much for
Right.
sticking around with
Absolutely.
us. James, thank you. Katie,
Thank
thank you
you.
for all the work for this. We're so
course.
excited for this weekend. All right, everyone, have a beautiful weekend.